My identity was stolen.
Identity theft cost us $56 billion last year, according to the federal government, and the problem is growing.
It's a lot of money.
Tell you guys the story right now.
Famous con man in the last 50 years says social media is a hacker's dream.
Yeah, he tells News 6 your profile page leaves you wide open to identity theft.
Just did it again. That's fucking crazy.
Can we just talk about hackers for a minute? First of all, I've mentioned to you guys about how my identity was stolen. My Facebook got hacked a couple years ago, and now my Instagram was hacked like 5 times from the person in Nigeria. Hello. My name is Travis Bartlett, and I am here to break the silence about my identity theft. 2 years ago, my identity was stolen because I took this one guy to the car dealership just so he can get a car. And of course I did take him. But he was just using me just for my money, which I didn't know about. Because when I took him to the car dealership, I was told to drop him off and drive home. That's it. And then when I came home, I get a call from the banks and credit card companies saying there was $4,000 taken from my account. And when I asked them why, they said it was from a car dealership. So I called the guy up, the one I took to a car dealership. And I asked him, did you steal $4,000 from me? And of course, he denied it, which he lied about. And I told him, well, I got a call from the bank and credit card companies saying that there was $4,000 taken from my account. And of course, he started acting really dumb. And I told him, I said, are you sure that you didn't steal $4,000 from me? And he said, yes, he didn't. And at first I kind of believed it, which obviously I didn't know. Because what I didn't know, the next day I went into work. I was working at Walmart at the time, and someone said something about Victor Moore having a tracker in his pants pocket. And that's how he got a hold of my money. And he didn't show up to work for 2 weeks because he told Walmart that his uncle had passed away, which was not true, because if someone died, you don't take 2 weeks off from work. Which I just think that's just a little bit suspicious, you know? But then I actually kind of caught on when I was told that there was a tracker in his pants. Oh, I confronted him. And he wanted to lie about it. Which really made me upset. And then about a month later, there was $6,000 taken out of my account. So that's a total of $10,000 right there, taken out of my account. And I called his ass up and I told him, I said, you took $6,000 from my account. And he's still lying to my face about it. Because he went to another car dealership and used my name and my credit card and bank information that he took from me from a tracker. And then he lied about it. Well, you need to stop accusing me of stealing your money. He said, I didn't steal $6,000 from you, even though he did. I said, well, you stole my identity, and I still keep getting calls from the banks and credit card companies about it. And of course, you know, he denied it. And we had to file a police report in Clayton County. And then when he got a hold of me, he got a hold of 5 other people at Walmart. And when we try to give them the case number so they can write their story into the document so we can get this whole thing straightened out, they said they didn't need the case number because they said they ended up handling it. So I'm over here thinking, like, what kind of friends do I have, even though their identity was stolen? Even though they took care of it, but we were going to put them all on one case number and tell them everything. But they didn't want to. Great friends. And then I was told there was $2,000 more taken out of my bank. And I basically kept calling the fraud department, and they just told me that they can only return a certain amount of money. And it made me so mad that I couldn't get all of it back. So right now I'm missing out at least about $12,000 now. And I was going to use the money to maybe like get me a house or maybe go to school or something. But since I don't have the money, I can't do anything. So then I get a call from the Clayton County Police Department, and they're wanting me to see them about this whole identity theft. And they ended up accusing me by making it seem like that I'm the liar and that Victor Moore is a criminal, that they're just letting criminals go out and do things, but they're just going to let us people like us, like the good people, get thrown in jail. I just think that's just wrong. I mean, I understand that identity theft is a really bad thing to take from somebody, but have them lie to my face. Have them lie to my face and tell me that there is no such thing as hackers, but you can go online, and I mean the internet will basically tell you everything about how hackers can get into your information. I mean, like, just take a look at like social media. They have been getting hacked a lot. I remember when I was working at Kroger at the time, they were talking about that they were going to be putting chips on a credit card and debit card because they said it was going to be a lot more safer. I remember when I was working at Kroger at the time, and they were talking about on the news, they were going to try to make the spending a lot more safer for people so they won't have their information stolen. Because back then we ended up having to swipe our cards. But then they said when they were going to make the chips, they said the chips were going to be a lot more easier and safer for people. Well, we all know if they're going to come up with any kind of product, it's going to get hacked. And that's how he stole my identity. They told me since I was lying about my identity being stolen, they said that I was the one that gave him my credit card and bank card and any information. I mean, the way that they made it sound like is that I gave him everything, even though I didn't, which was a lie. And they were like accusing me by saying, well, you're the one that gave him the information. You're the one that gave him your credit card information and all of this stuff. And they said since I was lying about it, they were going to have me get thrown in jail for 30 years. Then they said, since apparently the way that they made me sound like was a total prostitute by telling them that, by telling me that I was the one stealing money and other people's information from the banks and Social Security and car dealerships and so much more, just so I can sleep with the guy. And that's prostitution right there. And they said they were going to add on 20 more years for prostitution, which was a lie because I've never slept with a man before. I mean, I slept with girls, just not men, because, well, I'm not gay. I mean, don't get me wrong, I have friends that are gay, but that's just their business, you know? But why am I the problem if you're just going to accuse somebody for something that they didn't even do? I mean, like I said, like anything can be hacked. When I contacted the bank, they told me that there was no such thing as hackers, which was a lie. Because like I said, anything can get hacked. But I don't understand, why am I the victim of fraud? And then I found out that Victor's sister, who I've never met, taught him how to steal people's identities. And that's how he got a hold of me and 5 other people at Walmart. And last year, they wanted me to go to court to testify his sister. And this year, I had the same phone call from last year. They want me to go to court and testify against his sister again. And I told them on the phone, I said, I really don't know nothing about this whole legal stuff, even though I should. I just think, I don't know. I don't know what to do. Like, if I go to court and then they find out I'm nothing but a liar, then my ass is going to jail. But if I don't go to court and ignore the phone calls, I'm not sure if I'm going to jail or not. But with Victor Moore, I think, well, I'm hearing stories left and right saying that he is in jail and that he's not in jail, and I really don't know the whole story, if he's in jail or not. I just wish that people do the stupidest things. Like, if you're going to do the crime, you should do the time. I don't know what else to do. And I just feel like I'm hopeless right now, like I need help. But then, once I came home from being investigated by the police officers, I ran away, tried to commit suicide, and I didn't know what to do with my life. I mean, I was scared because I've never been to jail for like 50 years. I mean, don't get me wrong, I've been to jail that might have got me locked up for a couple days or maybe a couple weeks, but no longer than, you know, a week. It would have been like, maybe like 2 weeks was the most I've been in jail for, but I've never been anything longer than a month, you know? But I understand that identity theft is, you know, wrong, but it's like, I know, like, if you're gonna steal someone's identity, it is wrong. And then people want to try to accuse you saying that you're not that real person, even though you are. But then the other person's using your name and your information against you. And I just think, if he was a better person, I wouldn't mind hanging out with him. They made it seem like that they're gonna let criminals do whatever they want, but the victims like us who had our identity stolen gets thrown in jail. I feel helpless. I don't know what to do. When I got onto the cops, they said that he was innocent and that I was the criminal, the mastermind. And they said that even though I started this, it was technically my fault, which it wasn't. I feel like I need some help here. I mean, I wanted to kill him and strangle him. I wanted to so badly. So I thought, might as well just, you know, just walk away and just leave it at that. And since there's a lot of hacking going around, it's not just identity theft, information being stolen. There's social media that are being hacked. And you gotta watch out for that. Because first, my Facebook was hacked like 3 times, and I had to keep resetting my password over and over and over, and I just got tired and just made a new one. 2 years later, as I'm living in Macon, my Instagram was hacked, and they were pretending to be me and other people. I remember in the summertime, I was hanging out with my family in the pool, and I get a message from Jason Aldean himself. So I had to look at the Instagram first, because it made it seem like that Jason Aldean only had 1 follower. And he told me that he was wanting to talk to his fans, and I'm like, you're not the real Jason Aldean. Because what the guy was doing is that he was pretending to be like Jason Aldean just so we can give him money and, you know, all this stuff, which is stupid. Which no one's gonna fall for that. Because whenever I got hacked on Instagram, they were pretending to be me while talking to my mom and other of my friends. And it was not pretty. I mean, my mom ended up telling the guy that this is my son's Instagram, and of course he started pretending to be me by tattletaling on me, by telling my mom, Mommy, this guy is hacking into my Instagram, which my mom knew she was not going to fall for that. But it's so weird about internet security. It's like, of course we have like, let's say like social medias that we all stay on 24/7, but when it comes to internet police, it's like they won't do anything about it, and then all they want to do is get away with it, thinking like, oh, well, we can just do whatever we want, you know? It's so weird that we report all our accounts being stolen and hacked, and you got people that don't want to seem to help you out. Especially the police around the entire world that don't seem to want to help you about certain things. It's not fun having your information stolen or taken down. These people do it because they just want to do it. And if I had to guess, they were probably bored, and that's why they wanted to do it. That's it. I want to take the time to say thank you for me sharing my story with you guys. I didn't want you guys to think that I was the only one going through this phase. Because I know I'm not the only one who had my identity stolen. I mean, there's lots of people around the world who actually had their identity stolen. But you gotta be careful who you hang out with, because they could probably have something that you may not have, and they can use that against you. Thank you.